Oh boy, man. This is totally what we were all expecting to hear about, right? Yeah, this is it. Today we are talking about the hottest of the hot takes that has been spilled out there on the web. Because I wanted to refer to an article published on Bleacher Report that talks about some surprising landing spots for top 2025 NHL free agents. This article will be linked in the description. It was written and published by Lyle Richardson. Yeah, that's right, it's the Spectres hockey guy, going out there and talking about some of the most fiery takes, and I wanted to dive into one of these because, oh boy, is this gonna get a conversation going. Scroll down in the article and get into the thesis here. Essentially, Lyle Richardson is, for the sake of making things interesting, putting out some crazy landing spots, surprising landing spots. There should be some noteworthy talent available by July 1st. Leading up to that date, NHL fans and pundits will be speculating where they'll sign. Some of them could end up with the teams that we least expect. Here's a look at some surprising landing spots for this summer's top UFAs. Let's scroll down to thought number 5. I said thought. This is not Elliot Friedman's 32 thoughts. I just wanted to clarify that. It's Lyle Richardson's landing spots here. The 5th out of 8 thought is Brad Marchand to the Detroit Red Wings. Oh my gosh! Oh, look at this. This would be ridiculous, eh? The article writes this: one of this season's biggest surprises was the Boston Bruins trading captain Brad Marchand to the Florida Panthers at the trade deadline. Before that move, the 36-year-old winger had spent his entire 16-season NHL career with the Boston Bruins. Marchand is likely a playoff rental for the Panthers and could become an unrestricted free agent on July 1st. The Bruins left open the possibility of bringing him back, but he'll probably end up signing somewhere else. Given his age and declining production, Marchand will get a short-term deal worth a little less than his current $6.13 million cap hit. He could attempt to sign with another Stanley Cup contender, but he could surprise us by joining a rebuilding club like the Red Wings. Marchand's leadership, vast playoff experience, and agitating two-way game could make him the type of player to help the Red Wings break through as a playoff team. Their postseason drought has lasted 9 years, and they must add another experienced scoring forward. The Wings have a projected $21.3 million in cap space for 25-26, with 17 active players under contract, including their core players. There's room to sign Marchand to a 1 or 2 year deal, especially if they fail to bring Patrick Kane back for another season. And this is a crazy idea. Yeah, surprising? Oh, that's an understatement. This would shock the world. Brad Marchand heading over to a team like the Detroit Red Wings? After we just had a conversation about the Red Wings not bargain bin hunting anymore. But would Marchand be considered a bargain bin hunt? I'm not too sure about that. Yesterday's video commentaries went over how the Wings should stop going for these older guys that aren't really all too valuable and signing them to longer-term, beefy dollar amount deals, because it just ends up biting the Wings in the behind. Steve Yzerman, maybe, has learned from his mistakes. We'll see what happens on July 1st of this year. But if Brad Marchand does come on to Detroit, I won't say that this is a situation where Yzerman doesn't learn and makes the same mistakes all over again. Marchand is a much more effective player and a more storied player than the Andrew Kopps and the J.T. Compers of the world. This season, with both the Bruins and the Panthers, Marchand scored 51 points in 71 games played. And he's a point per game in the playoffs right now. This is a guy who has been near, if not over, a point per game in the playoffs his entire playoff career, it seems like. Spare the days before he was a true number 1 winger. This guy has been so effective everywhere he has played, even though you've got a Boston team that definitely has not been up to snuff this season compared to years prior. Sure, Marchand was the captain, and you can say that part of the team's inability to be better and actually string together positive results, that could be reflected on Marchand as a guy. But I think it's also fair to assume that the Bruins being as bad as they were played a part into it, and that's not necessarily totally against him. Now, let's dive into a few other thoughts here as to Brad Marchand being a Red Wing. If he signs with Detroit, of course, he's not signing long-term. There isn't a possibility for the Red Wings to overpay Marchand on term like they did with some of these other older guys. Marchand's 37, turning 38 in... Oh, actually, he turned 37 yesterday. Huh, happy birthday, Brad Marchand. Yeah. 37 years old, right? Not necessarily a guy you want to commit many years to, but in a transitory season where things took a little bit of a step back and you wanted to see more out of the Detroit Red Wings, this could be a push that they ultimately need, a bona fide top six agitative two-way winger who can really get under his opponent's skin and score some really clutch points when you need him to. Marchand is the embodiment of a lot of things you could say the Red Wings lack. Not size, necessarily. Yeah, Marchand isn't the biggest guy, but so aren't Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat. But Marchand brings a snarkiness and sort of an attitude that I think a lot of Wings fans maybe wanted to see a little bit more of out of the team. You can say that with the departure of David Perron, some of that attitude ended up leaving with him. There is maybe a little bit of a need for that, and also, of course, there's a need for players who can score points. That, of course, is a bigger thing that the Wings, I think, need more of comparative to just attitude. But hey, Brad Marchand brings both. So there certainly is an idea to go out there and dive into when it comes to the Wings and what they can accomplish here. So I want to pose the question here to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think it's a possibility that Brad Marchand is a Detroit Red Wing? Do you think he would say, hey, I want to go over to a team that can rely on me, that can fully use me as a top-line guy, and that can hopefully contend for the playoffs? I want to go to a team that's just on the edge of making the dance, and I want to be that final pillar that pushes them forward in the right direction. It's either that, or Marchand goes over to a team that's like, hey, we're already a bona fide cup contender. Sign with us for $1 million, Marchand, and win yourself another cup. Or we can't discredit the idea that he just goes back over to Boston, right? That's definitely possible. So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Marchand to Detroit, yay or nay? What are your thoughts on Lyle Richardson's proposal over here? Article's going to be linked in the description if you want to go out there and read the remaining 7 free agent destinations that Richardson writes about. Of course, Richardson's mostly known for his Spectres hockey work, but he does come out here with some hot takes once in a while, and I wanted to dive into this one, which is why we made this video. So let me know in the comment section, how did you feel about it all? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.